Today, I want to chat about something we often miss while chasing success and happiness: the journey. We're all so focused on the end goal, the moment we think will bring us peace, joy, or fulfillment, but I'm here to remind you that it's not the destination that shapes us. It's the journey itself. That's where everything happens. It's where our dreams face challenges and our ambition gets put to the test. Everybody loves to talk about success and that big moment when everything finally clicks. But not enough people pay attention to the journey that gets you there. That journey is what really molds you. It's where you encounter challenges, doubt, and fear. It's the point where you can either rise up or throw in the towel. The truth is, you don't grow when you hit your goal. You grow in the struggle, during that tough uphill fight when you're wondering if you've got what it takes. Finish strong. That's when you really discover who you are. Life doesn't hand you success just because you want it. You've got to earn it. Every step you take, every obstacle you overcome, that's what shapes you. It's easy to crave the end result. We all do. We want the win without putting in the work, the rewards without the sacrifices. But that's not how life works. You're going to face challenges. You're going to be pushed. And that doesn't mean you should give up. It means you're on the right track. Growth isn't easy. It's uncomfortable. Glamorous stuff doesn't just happen overnight. It takes time. It happens in those moments when you feel like giving up, when you're running on empty but still push through. Think about your biggest achievements, those that really matter to you. Were they easy? Did you get what you wanted right away, or did you have to work for it? The reality is, the things we cherish most are the ones that put us to the test. The struggle, the pain, the sacrifice, that's what makes it all worthwhile. If you were just given everything you wanted, you wouldn't appreciate it. You wouldn't feel that same sense of accomplishment because you didn't earn it. It's the journey that makes the destination worthwhile. There will be times when you feel like giving up, when the journey seems too tough, too long, or too draining. But those are the moments where the real magic happens. That's when you discover your strength, your resilience, and your determination. You don't figure out who you are when everything's going well. You find out when everything falls apart. It's when you hit rock bottom that you really find out what you're capable of. So don't rush through the journey. Don't just fixate on the finish line. If you do, you'll miss the important moments, the ones that teach you and shape who you are. Every setback, every challenge, and every moment of doubt is building you up, getting you ready for what's next. It's making you stronger, wiser, and more capable than you were before. And when you finally hit your goal and stand at the top of the mountain, it won't just be the view that blows you away. It'll take your breath away. The memories of climbing when you thought you couldn't go on but pushed through anyway. That's where you grow and transform. That's what makes every step of the journey worthwhile. When you fall in love with the process, you discover a power that often gets overlooked: the power of resilience. When you embrace the journey, setbacks, obstacles, and delays stop feeling like a drag. They turn into stepping stones, turn obstacles into lessons. When you're really into the process, the end result isn't the only thing that matters anymore. You start to appreciate the struggle itself, and that's where resilience comes from. It's not about getting to your goal fast. It's about how much you connect with every moment along the way. When you enjoy the journey, failure doesn't bring you down. Instead, it just pushes you forward. Rather than seeing failure as the end, you start to see it as part of the plan. You start to see that every mistake and stumble is actually shaping you, refining you, and getting you ready for something bigger. When you're only focused on the end goal, failure feels like a door slamming in your face. But when you really care about the process, failure is just a lesson learned, a stepping stone to greatness. It becomes a teacher, not a roadblock. A lot of people want success, but they love the idea of it more than the journey that gets them there. They want the glory, but aren't ready to put in the hard work. But here's the reality. Resilience comes from sticking it out through tough times. It's not all glitz and glam, and it's not always thrilling. It's in those quiet, overlooked moments when no one's paying attention and the rewards feel out of reach that resilience really starts to grow. When you're in the thick of it, pushing through tiredness, frustration, and self-doubt, that's when you become unbreakable. Resilience is born when you realize that the journey itself is the reward, and that real growth comes from the hard work, the sweat, and the sacrifices. Resilience thrives in those moments because you learn to keep going. Focus on growing, not just on success. Stop checking your progress by how close you are to the finish line, and start looking at what you've learned, how much you've improved, and how much stronger you've gotten. When you love the process, every little step forward feels like a win. You start to appreciate the journey, the tough days, and the challenges because they're turning you into someone who can handle whatever comes next. That's the beauty of it. Resilience isn't built when everything's easy. It doesn't come easy when you're just cruising to the finish line. It's born in those moments when most folks would just give up, when they'd throw in the towel because it feels too tough or the journey seems way too long. But you keep pushing because you've fallen in love with the process. You recognize the worth in every setback and every hard time. You know these are the moments that build your strength, your character, and your perseverance. Resilience isn't something you find when you finally reach the top. The mountain is shaped in the valleys and the low points, where you find out what you're really made of. It's during those tough times, when others might quit, that you keep pushing forward. Not because you're fixated on the finish line, but because you start to value every step of the journey. You realize it's not just about getting to the end, it's about who you become along the way. Success is often seen as the final goal, where you get the applause, the recognition, and the rewards, waiting for you at the end of the journey. People often get hung up on that final picture, the trophies on the shelf, the accolades on the wall, and the achievements that shine like gold. But let me tell you, success without the journey is just an illusion. It's superficial, like building a house on sand. It might look great for a bit, but the foundation is weak, and eventually it all comes crashing down. Seriously, if all you care about is the end result, skipping the steps, dodging the hard lessons, and avoiding the grind, then what's the point? Have you really thought about it? You might find yourself in the spotlight, but when the lights go out and the noise fades, what's actually left? That's when the truth comes out. The truth is, it's not just about that moment of success. It's all the stuff that leads up to it. Success isn't just one single moment. It's a bunch of moments, each one shaping and refining you into the person who can actually handle it when it comes. It might be tempting to skip the process, but when you skip the struggle, you can't skip the growth part, because without it, success feels hollow. Picture a sprinter who wins a race but didn't put in the work. They might have the medal, but inside, they know they didn't earn it. There's no pride in something you didn't struggle for. Real success isn't easy, and that's what makes it so valuable. It's the blood, sweat, and tears that make success worth celebrating. Every hurdle you clear, every setback you get past, and every failure you learn from, that's what really counts. Success means more than just the end result. It's about the journey and who you become along the way. It's about the patience you learn, the resilience you build, and the wisdom you gain. things that nobody can take from you. When you earn success the right way, it's not just a victory, it changes you. You don't just accomplish something, you evolve into a different person. That's where the real meaning lies. True success has many layers, and each one reflects a different part of your journey. The lessons learned, the battles fought, the growth you go through. That's what gives your success real meaning. It makes it genuine and lasting. If you rush to the top and skip those important steps, you might reach the peak, but it won't feel like you thought it would. Why? Because success, when it's shallow, feels empty. There's no happiness in a hollow victory. The real value of success isn't just in what you achieve, but in who you had to become to get there. If you skip the process, you miss out on growth, and without that growth, success loses its worth. So, don't rush to get there. Embrace the struggle, the challenges, the failures, and those moments when you wonder if you're even headed in the right direction. Every step you take and every obstacle you encounter is shaping something within you that's way more valuable than any trophy. The journey might not be glamorous, and it probably won't earn you instant applause, but it's the only way to achieve success that really means something. That's where the real magic happens, especially in a world that wants everything to be quick and easy. Messages about one-click purchases. Patience is hard to come by these days. We live in a world where everyone wants instant results, whether it's in their jobs, relationships, or personal development. There's this constant need for success to happen in a flash, for happiness to come instantly, and for wealth to be made without lifting a finger. But the reality is, anything worth having takes time, dedication, and a willingness to embrace the journey. That journey requires patience. It makes you slow down when all you want to do is rush ahead. It puts you in your place when you think you're all set before you really are. The path to true success and fulfillment isn't a quick race. It's a long haul. You can't hurry the process no matter how much you want to. It unfolds at its own speed, and trying to rush through it just leads to frustration, burnout, or even failure. But the journey is more than just waiting around. It teaches you things you wouldn't get if everything came too easy or too fast. Every little step forward matters. A little bump in the road is just part of the journey. Every challenge you hit helps mold who you are, making you tougher and better at pushing through tough times. It teaches you that success isn't just about hitting the finish line, but about who you grow into while you're on that path. When you really get into the process, you start to enjoy the ride itself. You see the worth in what you learn along the way, and, even more importantly, in the person you're turning into. Learning to be patient is key, because rushing things doesn't help. You'll end up missing out on important growth moments. Sometimes, we're so caught up in where we want to go that we forget to appreciate how far we've already come. Those little wins, the gradual progress, and those quiet moments of realizing things about ourselves, those are what really matter for lasting success. They might not be flashy or newsworthy, but they're the solid ground underneath it all. Without them, the success you're after would just feel empty and short-lived. So, in this context, patience is a skill you have to work on. Time isn't something you just have or that comes naturally when things get tough. Patience is built during those slow, sometimes tough moments of waiting and putting in hard work without seeing quick results. It teaches you to see time as your friend, not your foe. It pushes you to hang in there and stay dedicated even when things aren't moving as fast as you'd like. The longer you stick with it, the more you realize that every delay and hurdle is helping you grow. Getting you ready for the success you want, not just handing it to you before you're ready. Patience is all about trusting the process. It's knowing that no matter how long it takes, the journey is turning you into someone who can handle the success that's on the way. The process will keep you grounded, but it'll also make you stronger. It'll knock your ego down a peg and fill you up with wisdom. When you stop trying to speed things up and start embracing the journey, you'll see that patience isn't just something you work on. It becomes part of who you are. When you live your life, you'll see that the real growth happens during the journey itself. Success will come when you're genuinely ready for it. The process, slowly and quietly unfolding, shapes us and teaches us things we wouldn't have grasped if we only zeroed in on the end goal. You might think you know what you want, and you have this dream for the future that pulls you in. But the truth is, the real learning happens in the process as you go through life, taking step after step toward what you want. Believe that where you're headed is just part of the bigger picture. You might be focused on a specific goal, a job title, a career path, or an achievement, but the journey, with all its challenges and daily hustle, often uncovers something more meaningful. You realize that what you thought was your ultimate destination might not be where you actually land. As you experience the highs and lows, the setbacks and successes, you come to see that the journey is what's really shaping you. Your resilience and outlook change the way you see your goals. It's less about hitting a target and more about becoming the person you're meant to be on the journey. There's something really empowering about not knowing exactly how things will turn out. It's freeing to let the process lead you to unexpected places. You might start off thinking you're after a specific job or lifestyle, but as you deal with challenges and grow through tough times, you'll discover new opportunities. You stumble into opportunities you never knew were out there, meet folks who change your direction, and pick up skills you never meant to learn. Before you know it, that strict goal you set for yourself starts to change. The journey leads you to paths you wouldn't have picked on your own, but those paths might just hold the secret to your real purpose. Sometimes life teaches us that what we thought was our calling is just the kickoff, just the first step. The true purpose shows up during tough times and growth, along with those surprising twists and turns. If you're too fixated on hitting a certain goal, you might totally miss everything else going on around you. You could overlook important lessons, chances, and connections that are right in front of you. That's why the journey is so important. It pushes you to think differently, expands your horizons, and demands more from you than you ever imagined. As you navigate that journey, you start to grow and see things in a new light, and you come to understand that the purpose you are chasing might not be what you really need. You might not be the person you thought you were supposed to be. The journey is showing you a bigger purpose, one that fits who you're becoming rather than just what you originally wanted. So, you need to be open to surprises and the idea that your purpose isn't a set goal. It's something that evolves as you do. It unfolds while you're figuring out who you're really meant to be. When you embrace that journey, you stop stressing about the end result and realize what truly counts is. It's amazing how this journey is changing you, guiding you towards something way bigger than you ever thought possible. Every step, every struggle, and every moment of doubt is all part of it. It's taking you not to where you thought you were heading, but to where you really belong. This whole process shows you your true purpose in life. We usually get so caught up in the big picture and the ultimate goal we're after that we forget to appreciate the little wins along the way. We focus so much on the end result that we overlook the small things. We have victories right in front of us, but the reality is that the process helps us appreciate those little wins. It shows us how important they are and how they matter on our journey. When you start valuing the smaller achievements, you begin to see that success isn't just one big thing that happens all at once. It's actually a bunch of little moments, actions, and victories that build up over time. When you learn to celebrate these steps, something amazing happens. Build up some momentum, because that forward movement is what keeps you going. You start to realize that every little win counts, since it brings you closer to your goal, bit by bit. Think of it like climbing a mountain. Each step you take, no matter how tiny, gets you higher and closer to the peak. You might not be at the top yet, but each step forward is still progress, and progress is worth celebrating. By appreciating these small wins, you keep your energy and motivation alive, even when the journey gets tough. Plus, each little win builds your confidence. When you start noticing even tiny bits of progress, it boosts your confidence and makes you feel like what you're doing is actually working. It reassures you that you're headed in the right direction, and you start to trust yourself and the process more. Confidence doesn't only come from hitting those big goals, it builds up as you acknowledge the small wins along the way. Every time you tackle a little challenge or reach a minor milestone, you're showing yourself that you can do it, and you're training your mind to believe in that. Believe in your own abilities. We often forget that those little wins are what build the biggest successes. They're the building blocks. Without them, there's nothing solid to stand on. When you finally hit that big goal, it's easy to overlook how important those small steps were. But when you take a moment to recognize them, you realize that success is really just a bunch of these moments stacked together. The big picture is made up of a ton of small efforts. Every day, every task you finish, every little win counts. It's all about building up. The little wins you celebrate today will shape the future you want tomorrow. When you take a moment to appreciate those small victories instead of just seeing it as a grind, the whole process becomes more meaningful. You start to see it as a journey full of achievements, no matter how tiny they might feel. Those moments keep you going. They give you the boost you need to push through, even when it feels like you're not making much progress. It's those small wins that keep you motivated on tough days when your goal feels miles away. They remind you that every little bit counts and every step forward matters. So, when the going gets tough and the challenges feel like too much and that big goal seems out of reach, it's those small wins that help you keep going. They remind you that you're not stuck. You're moving and growing. The process teaches you to appreciate those little wins because they show you that success isn't just one big moment. It's a journey made up of lots of small victories, each one getting you a bit closer to where you want to be. Take a moment to appreciate the little victories because they show you that you've already found success in ways you might not have thought about. Discipline isn't something you're just born with. It's something you work for, something you develop little by little, day by day. The whole process, the journey, the hustle, that's where discipline comes from. It's what sets apart those who just talk about their dreams from those who actually make them happen. Dreaming is easy. It feels great to picture the life you want, the success and accomplishments, but that's just the beginning. The real test of who you are starts when you're really in it, when you're deep in the struggle and nothing feels glamorous. It's when you're worn out, frustrated, and maybe even doubting yourself. That's when discipline kicks in. The process doesn't give a damn about your excuses or comfort. It doesn't care how you feel or what you think you deserve. It just wants you to show up every single day, no matter how you're feeling. That's where the rubber meets the road. There's a big difference between just dreaming and actually making things happen. Anyone can dream when they're feeling pumped, motivated, or inspired, but how many can keep pushing when that excitement dies down? How many can stick with it when the initial motivation fades and it just turns into hard work? That's where the process really teaches you something. It doesn't require anything crazy, just that you keep at it, staying committed to the work even when it's tough or boring. It's in that daily grind, in that struggle, that discipline really starts to form. You get that discipline isn't about wanting to do something. It's about doing it whether you feel like it or not. It's getting up when you'd rather sleep, pushing through when you'd rather chill, and making the choice every day to keep moving ahead no matter how tough or overwhelming it gets. The whole process makes you face your own limits and doubts, and it pushes you to get past them. That's how you build discipline, not in the moments of victory, but in the everyday grind. It's about putting in the hard work when no one's around and there's no quick payoff. But once you develop that discipline, it sticks with you. It's not just for one moment or one goal. It becomes part of who you are. It helps you not only reach your destination, but also tackle every challenge, setback, and obstacle that comes your way. Life doesn't just throw in the towel after you hit one goal. It keeps coming at you with new challenges and chances to grow. The discipline you develop along the way is what will get you through tough times over and over again. It's the solid ground you stand on when life throws you curveballs and things don't go as planned. You've shown yourself that you can handle it, that you can keep going, and that you can succeed even when the going gets tough. That discipline isn't just for one moment or one win. It becomes your biggest strength and your most effective tool. It's what sets you apart from everyone else and keeps you pushing forward. When others give up, it drives you to heights you never imagined you could hit. In the end, it's not really the win that counts the most. It's the discipline you build along the journey, the strength, the resilience, the grit that sticks with you long after the victory fades. When you're going after a goal, it's easy to get hung up on the end result. You focus so much on that finish line that it's all you can think about. If you're always focused on what's coming next, you're not really enjoying the moment. You're not noticing what's right in front of you, and you're missing out on the little wins, the lessons, and the moments that make the journey worthwhile. The journey itself is what matters, and if you don't take the time to appreciate it, you might find that even when you hit your goals, something still feels off. The great thing about the process is that it makes you slow down and really think about each step, allowing you to fully dive into what you're doing. Right now, it's not just about reaching the top of the mountain. It's about learning to appreciate the climb. Every step forward matters when you embrace the journey. It's in these moments that you grow, build your character, and discover your true strength. When you're fully present, you start to see that life isn't waiting for you at some far-off place. It's happening right now, in every moment, in every challenge, and in every little victory. Staying present helps you enjoy it all. Live life to the fullest instead of just rushing through each day, hoping for it to be over. You'll start to appreciate where you are right now and notice things you might have overlooked before. You'll see how you're improving and getting stronger with every step. There's something really powerful about being fully present in the moment. It gives you a sense of control and awareness that you can only feel when you stop worrying so much about the future. When you're focused on the process, you can handle setbacks better. It's better because you see that they're part of the journey, not just obstacles. They're chances to learn, grow, and improve. The process teaches you patience. When you're not obsessed with the end goal, you learn to take it one step at a time. You start to get that you don't need to rush or push yourself to the brink just to cross the finish line. You can take your time, learn what you need to, and still hit your goals while enjoying the journey. You get the freedom to learn and grow at your own speed. It helps you trust yourself and realize that if you keep pushing forward, you'll eventually get there. When you're really in the moment, you start to enjoy the journey a lot more. You see that every little step you take is part of a bigger picture. You begin to feel proud of what you're doing, the progress you're making, and the growth you're going through. You come to realize that the process is where all the magic happens. That's where you truly find out who you are. It's all about what you can do and how much you can challenge yourself. When you enjoy the journey, you not only hit your goals, but also realize that the journey is just as important, if not more, than the end result. Chasing your dreams isn't something you do alone. It's a path filled with experiences that shape who you are. Every person you meet can influence your life in unexpected ways. By focusing on the journey, you really open yourself up to real connections. Connections are more than just passing moments. They're essential for your growth. As you go through life, you'll meet people who get what you're dealing with, who understand your worries and dreams. They become your support system, your go-to folks. Just think about sharing your struggles with someone who's been there before. Their advice and encouragement can really help you find your way when things get tough. These relationships give you a sense of belonging, reminding you that you're not alone. You're not on this journey by yourself. The relationships you make along the way often teach you really important lessons. Each person you meet has their own unique experiences, views, and insights. You learn to listen, empathize, and understand different perspectives. This back and forth isn't just helpful, it changes you. It opens your mind and deepens your understanding of the world. What's great about these interactions is that they remind you we're all in this together as humans. Successes and setbacks, hopes and dreams, these relationships evolve as you grow. They turn into a source of inspiration and motivation when times get tough. It's the people you've connected with who will rally around you, pushing you to keep going when you feel like throwing in the towel. They remind you of your strengths, your potential, and the dreams that fuel you. In those moments, you see the real value of the journey. It's not just about hitting a goal, it's about the connections you build along the way. Think about those moments. Celebrating achievements is way more enjoyable when you can share them with the people who've been there for you along the way. Whether it's a small win or a big milestone, having folks who truly care about your success makes it even sweeter. These connections build a supportive community where everyone helps each other out. But let's not overlook the challenges that come with forming real relationships. It takes being open and trusting. You've got to be ready to share your journey, the highs and the lows. Being this honest can be pretty intimidating, but it's super important for building real connections. When you show people the real you, it encourages them to open up too. This give and take helps you understand each other better and builds respect, laying a strong groundwork for lasting relationships. In the end, the friendships you make along the way often mean more than the goals you set. They become the anchors in your life, offering support, wisdom, and companionship as you go through your journey. Embracing this process is key. You not only grow as a person, but also build a network of connections that really enrich your life. These relationships become part of your story, woven into your experiences, reminding you that every step, every challenge, and every victory is something we all share. It all leads to a deeper sense of fulfillment. This journey is life itself, a truth that hits home for all of us. In our fast-paced world, it's easy to get caught up in results, always rushing toward the next thing. Goal, the next achievement. We often think of life as a checklist. Once we tick everything off, we'll finally feel fulfilled. But here's the truth. Life isn't a destination, it's a journey. It's a never-ending series of experiences that shape who we are. When we stop just focusing on the finish line and start embracing the journey, we open ourselves up to a fuller life. Every moment is an opportunity for growth, a lesson waiting to be discovered. Imagine climbing a mountain. It's not just about getting to the top. It's not just about reaching the top. It's all about the climb, the effort, the sweat, and the challenges you tackle along the way. Every step you take makes you stronger, more resilient, and helps shape your character. If you rush to the top, you'll miss out on the stunning views, the friendships with other climbers, and those personal breakthroughs that happen as you go up. Think about the times in your life when you felt really alive. Was it during your victories, or was it the tough times that really shaped you? Often, it's when we're facing challenges that we truly discover ourselves. We discover our true selves by figuring out what we're really made of, how to bounce back after we fall, and how to turn our setbacks into comebacks. This journey teaches us to be patient and stick with it, reminding us that growth takes time. It's a slow process. It's like shaping our souls through every challenge we face. When we learn to enjoy the journey, we start to feel grateful. Even when things are chaotic, if you appreciate where you are, you'll start to notice the little joys, the laughter of a friend, the warmth of a sunset, the satisfaction of a job well done. Every one of these moments adds depth to our lives, reminding us that joy isn't just something you find at the end of a journey. It's something we can experience right now. Plus, the process itself teaches us lessons that we can only learn through actually going through it. When we accept failure as part of the journey, we realize it's not the end, it's just a stepping stone. Each mistake gives us important insights that help steer us toward our true path. This change in perspective is life-changing. Rather than being scared of making mistakes, we start to welcome them as chances to grow as we go through life. The daily grind turns into a special time for reflection and understanding the everyday tasks, like waking up early, going to work, and pushing through tiredness. Aren't just chores, they're what shape our character. Every little routine moment adds to our story, reminding us that life is more about collecting experiences than just chasing one goal. When you learn to embrace the journey, you start to experience life to the fullest by being present and really connecting with what's around you. You'll discover that joy doesn't just come from winning. It comes from the whole journey, every struggle, every lesson, and every moment of growth. Life becomes this beautiful tapestry made up of all your experiences, each one adding to the masterpiece that is you. When you learn to appreciate the journey, that's when you really start living. So, don't just focus on the end goal. Embrace the journey, because that's where life really happens.